you guys on the team here, anybody have any questions real quick they wanted to go over about today or anything? You guys are kind of quiet. I was covering a lot of markets, so we were kind of just focused, not a lot on teaching, just on trading here this morning. Dave, did you do pretty good on your euro versus the pound? And Gary, what about you? You had a pretty big day yesterday. You've been consistent as usual. Guys, when the euro starts to get really choppy, go to the euro pound too, because that pair will go whipping back and forth with less 100% retraces than like the euro or cable will. Yesterday was 100% retrace. Okay. It'll be interesting to see on Bitcoin here. This is our third hedged lot here. But this is bearish engulfing right into the pie line on the cash spot price. I'm going to cover some of this if we get back towards the 30 on the hourly. We did a bunch of work right here. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And then this was resistance that we broke through. I guess that was this morning. So if we do kind of come off here, I'll cover a piece that I sold up here. Got short 3 lots. So up in here, here, here. I'm not going to get any more heavy than that. That's plenty. So if we come back down here, maybe make a couple $1,000 and just cover that. I may keep one in case we do break that low. But let's go over what we day traded. So you guys should be journaling, in your trading journals and then on the charts, and just go through your post-trade analysis every day, because there's all kinds of lessons inside. While you're trading, you should be writing stuff down, and then after you're out of the trade or you're kind of done for the most part, you go back and like, all right, did I stick to my plan on this? Did I stick to the trading model on this? I was feeling nervous up here. Why did I feel that way? Etc. So that's kind of what we're doing right now as I go through that same process. So did we stay with the cycles and the trend? We come in here on the 30-minute. We don't really like to go to the higher time frames, but putting this in perspective, I mean, to have a little bit of a feel for day trade makes sense. I mean, this has been the channel pretty much near term. So this is the big picture range, 89.5 to 87. 88 is pretty much smack right in the middle. We talked about, I covered a lot of my core short here. Was actually flat. And then today, I'm putting that short back out, right? Bottom of the range, top of the range. So from a core perspective, shorting again, and then day trade, we said this is a good spot too let's time it up with our 15-minute, 30-minute cycles. So here's the 30-minute, nice descending pie line. the 30-minute cycle, we had 2 spots up here that were high, but we came in here at 8, right into this tail. Didn't quite sell the high because we jumped on right after we made that spike up, but you can see the 15-minute cycle was high, right? So that gives us good timing, gives us a good runway. And then when we start to go to work on the 5-minute and 1-minute, didn't quite get into this tail here. I think I sold like right there, and then covered into these lows, reshorted, covered, reshort, cover again. We should be covering here if you're still short. And then we'll see if we can, I'm going to stay with this short thesis around this 15-minute cycle. If we can break this low here, we might have a nice bigger move. And then obviously the core stuff that we're short, I'll be looking for a bigger move also. Pretty textbook, nice consistent trading there. I'm going to cover a piece actually. The other screen. So I'll show that real quick. I don't want to miss it. So I'm covering this euro pound. That's cable on the chart there. There's a euro making new lows. So I'll still short some euro pound pieces here. I'll cover those. All right. So just some out of the money on some overall core pieces. Could talk about those in a second. So that was good on euro pound. Cable, we came in and said, you know, they already had a pretty good move down on sterling. So most of the opportunity around 8 o'clock was short covering opportunity. We don't buy lower lows. It wasn't a long. You already missed most of the move down. So that's what I mean. It's just sometimes the market is only in a short covering opportunity. That's the only action you should be taking. And so that's pretty much where we were this morning. So it wasn't a whole lot to do. I mean, we looked at cable. We looked at cable right here on this candle and was like, all right, you already dropped from here. The cycle was low. And this is a good example, again, why if you have no concept of the cycle and you come in here low, just because you see it's in a downtrend, but you're shorting lower than the cycle, you can easily get yourself way too over your skis, way too low. And then this thing backs up on you and you're short heavy from here on the low of the cycle. And then you're not able to stay with the trade up here. So by paying attention to the cycle, it keeps you from doing that. So we made some sales here, but they were light just because that cycle was low. So, oops, hold on a second. Hey guys, some of you guys are trickling in. We can talk crypto here in a second. I'm just going through our FX trades with my guys real quick. I think I might have lost the screen. 1 second. So, so on the sterling, yeah. So the 30-minute was low. Darn it. 1 second. I keep hitting the wrong button. This. Good covers on euro versus pound. So the 30-minute was low on cable. The 15-minute was low, but we identify. We're not just saying, oh, I kind of had a big breakfast and I don't know, I'm groggy and I'm sleepy, so I don't know. I feel like this is going to go down. There's no ego. I feel this. If you're constantly in your head, if you're always saying I think, too much ego. You just need to be, I identify what is. This is in a downtrend. I'm identifying the cycle as low. It's just a fact. There's no guessing, there's no thinking, there's no trying to figure out. There's no emoting. So when we get here low within that 15-minute, that keeps you out of trouble from being too aggressive. Now, as we started to rally back up, get this line smaller. As we start to rally back up, we said that you can short into this wall that we identified, right? So that's the bearishness. This is the big wall that the bears built. It's going to be tough for the market in one fell swoop to come rallying all the way back up and not get a little bit of a zigzag or ebb and flow back the other way. So that's what you're trying to do when you're day trading, or on this time frame. That's all we're trying to do, is identify the trend, which was down, but then we had a cycle that was low. So you can still fade this move up. You got to be light. Worst case, you come up and you don't get all the size you want, because these are the better levels to sell up here. And I draw it as a pyramid because you want to kind of increase your size as you get higher within the range. You want to sell high, not sell low. So you got to work your position. You can get more aggressive at better prices, but then you want to time it up with the cycle. So we had a cycle that was just way too low to be getting aggressive, but there's worse problems to have. You sell some here and the market dropped to a new low. We still made money there, but that was pretty simple. When you go to the 5-minute, you can see there's a little bit more to do. Around the 1 minute, can be a little bit more active, which we were. So this was the rally up, sold into this, covered some, resold, covered, and then you always want to cover into new lows. So someone who has bad timing is chasing these shorts instead of selling into the strength and then covering into the new lows. That's the right action. Well, that was pretty much it. Oh, we did day trade. We started some positions. We have a small short on S&Ps we talked about, and then I'll get into crypto. I'm really not bearish at all stocks. I'm just playing this. This was a pretty nasty move down, so I think the edge is to be a little bit short and just kind of hedging some of my other longer term investments. So it's just a small short in S&Ps. Everybody was talking about why this is the start of a crash on the lows. And then yesterday, everybody's talking about how stocks are never going to go down again. So that's pretty typical. But this daily cycle is still coming up a little bit. The 4 hours is already there. We may want to retest the old highs. That's certainly possible. So I'm just a small short there, and it's more of a hedge than anything. I'm really not. I've actually been bullish stocks for a long time. And we bought into this dip too. So that was a dip to buy because we were in a long-term uptrend. All we did was fail to a new higher low. That's all we did was put in another higher low. So this chart could actually maybe even go to new highs longer term. And then the only other thing I think we did was I just started a new small core short on oil. It's kind of the same trade as S&Ps. It's a similar looking chart. So I think inflation's going to struggle. It's going to roll over a little bit here relative to, it had so much growth at the end of the year as far as inflation picking back up. Just on the comparable periods to that time frame, it's going to be hard for inflation to the Fed's behind the 8 ball. Inflation was really accelerating because oil was so low here that when you have on a comparable basis, guys, if you have oil low here, it's really easy for the curve or the cycle of inflation to pick back up coming off these lows. When you come off some lows, it's not very hard for the quarter inflation figures to be higher than they were in the first quarter of 2016, because you're comparing against all time, like pretty much relatively in the last 10 years, this is the low in oil. So those inflation numbers show up in the back half of 2017. You start to report those numbers. Well, guess what? Now from here, oil is pretty high relative to where it was in 2016. So the Fed only looks at the recent data, but really the cycle is going to be more apt to roll over from an inflation perspective now, because you're comparing higher prices, you know. So that's part of understanding. It's not if the number's good or bad. It's, is it getting better? Or is it getting worse? Is inflation, it's going to have a harder time accelerating like CPI, et cetera, because you're having better numbers now. You have a higher number to start with. So anyway, I think this is the place to kind of be core short oil. I know you got a lot of geopolitical risks, but that's not how we trade. I mean, trading the geopolitical is more about working your size. You can buy call options just in case you get a big event. But I mean, our models, you know, I don't counter in what Iran is saying. We're just back to some monthly levels. And the monthly chart's not coming up for some reason. Probably slowing my internet down. What was I gonna say? You guys want to look at crypto here real quick? Cover a little bit more euro pound. All right, sorry guys, I was kind of working with my traders there. I'll look at this chat a little closer. So some of your questions on the YouTube side, you know, a lot of guys and gals, you know, I say guys, I mean gals too, but from the privacy standpoint, it seems like, you know, ZCL was big, and then now is BTC PT even trading? Or is that fork supposed to be coming? I don't know. I think trying to trade these forks, people get a little bit misled. I mean, we had a couple good trades on ZCL, BTC earlier in the week, but then now it's just completely collapsed. So the timing on these forks isn't always what people think it is. It's not as simple as, well, it should rally until the fork. I mean, the market started moving, I guess, in anticipation. Last I heard it was tomorrow. I don't know. But we were long a little bit, took some profit in the highs, bought a little bit, sold some. Then I bought a little bit back here that I just stopped out on today. I'm flat there. That should have held the bands. It couldn't. So it's probably going to fall back to at least pi now. It's going to be listed on hit when? Do you know, Santiago? Do you know when? I mean, that's one to look at. It's just, I don't really have an opinion unless I can look at the price action. I guess the other privacy coin that some people, including myself, is interesting project is BTCZ, which I mean, there's a lot of coins outstanding on this one. Um, but you know, there's some opportunity to try to trade that around a little bit. I would add here, except I couldn't get it. I had some offers in on the crappy exchange, and I didn't get lifted. So if I would have been able to come out of some more of this, I'd be adding more. But I don't get too crazy on this one. Let me try to get through as many of these questions as I can. Okay, Cello. Thanks, buddy. BTC, no, we actually, if you guys follow us in our chat, if some of you are on our crypto team, you would know we're actually issuing sell signal today. Not necessarily because we're bearish, just that if you bought well over the intermediate term, there's some reasons to take some profit up here at Pi. Actually, the market failed exactly there. So I've been hedging my overall crypto positions a little bit. We're going to start doing a lot more on the hedging side with some miners and just in general to start adding. I know not a lot of people aren't trading futures yet, but I talked about this was a good place to hedge here, and we've had a pretty good pullback. This was a little bit too aggressive for me to want to buy. I was kind of waiting on the daily cycle. But if you bought well down here with this 4-hour cycle, this is where you'd want to be coming out of some. I mean, this is a, 10% move off the lows, 12, 14%. So that's why we were issuing a sell signal. I wouldn't be buying it here. You're kind of late. And then bigger picture, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're bullish. We're just trading around a core position. So I could be long BTC on the cash side, which is, cash is the actual coin, right? Just like you can buy the cash. When you look at S&Ps, that's based on a cash index. So it's all the people putting real cash into 500 stocks that makes up the index. They call that the cash. The futures are based off the index. Well, so the BTC, when you buy the coin, that's the cash market or the spot price. And then futures are based off of the cash market. So you can be long crypto, we can be long, the whole space, and then hedge with the futures against our cash long or against your, obviously a lot of the altcoins and stuff are going to move with BTC. So not to be confused, we're still bullish longer term. There's just a couple places where if you bought well, you take some profit. If you want to hedge, there's some opportunities to do that too. Now, this daily cycle is kind of what I've been waiting on to really see if longer term we're going to kind of start to move back up. There's this inverse head and shoulders going on. I talked about it in the video for our crypto team. But this is a pretty standard bottoming process. This is a V bottom. We haven't had we made a new low and went right to this high. So we hadn't really had a pullback. This is the first higher low we've had. And so this is just part of the bottoming process. To really move the momentum back bullish now, we got to get above 12,000. And then you'll have a higher high. We'll have higher lows and higher highs if we can get above this pivot. And then the market will look like this. And we're going back this way. So we're close. I like that this cycle's here. It's close to turning back up. Let's see what else. Hey Matt, on the BitMix trading, I've been meaning to. I haven't yet. Been meaning to though. I think I covered I wouldn't contrarian on stocks. Yeah, I mean maybe a little bit, just as like a hedge or a trade. I think big picture, you still want to be bullish. Growth is still accelerating. Earnings are phenomenal. Market's in an uptrend. I wouldn't be buying stuff up here. I mean, I had a long an Apple and I got out of all of it. I was selling puts into 150. So now you're on the other side of that cycle, you know. You're almost all the way back to 180. So I'm going to get back into my core long on Apple. I'm just going to wait to see. I think we can maybe roll over first. Um, do I think privacy coins will be banned? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure some governments will try to ban lots of stuff. It's going to be a battle. It does, but that doesn't mean that those coins have to go down necessarily either. If you try to ban Monero, I wouldn't be surprised if the initial reaction was down and then it exploded. Just because, I mean, that would just make you're going to have that much blowback from governments. It's just going to make people want to be in the privacy coins even more. I don't know. It's that stuff's tough to. There's no edge there to try to figure out. Um, so hopefully not, but it's gonna probably be a battle. Um, I don't know if they would get. You know, you never know. They might get banned from a few different exchanges, but somebody might somebody's gonna be smart enough and say, "Hey, we're not banning it. You can trade it over here." And it'll probably trade great over on that exchange. Hey Dennis, what about your crypto training? Yeah, so I um this is our crypto team. It's underneath the banner of my firm, Jenkins Risk Management. So this is a great place, guys, to get started with us. It doesn't cost anything to come in the chat room. And then within the chat room, we use River, which is just a platform like Slack. And we have a paid room that's the crypto team room. It's only $100 a month. And we're putting all our trade signals in there, videos, talking about different coins. That's right there. And then the course I built is what's great about our model is it's good for any market on any time frame. So I built this model over 10 years in the fixed income markets. And then I obviously at the same time was trading a lot of Forex, and that's what we do a lot now, day trade, because Forex is the best market to day trade. And then obviously we use the same model in crypto for sure. And that's what's great. I mean, for this price, guys, I paid 12 grand to learn Forex, and it was like a couple different strategies, and like they taught you how, like, what's a pip and what's a standard lot and stuff you can learn on the internet. But I knew that I wanted to learn that market, and I took the course from some guys that had some pretty good experience. And so what I've built doesn't even compare to what I learned there. But I knew that if I invested in myself and I was going to trade the rest of my life and I was in the business, that I could take those concepts and generate a lot more money than 12 grand. So, I mean, this is a skill and a model that you can learn and perfect, and you'll have it the rest of your life to make you money. I mean, that's a great value right there. And then for those of you that want a little bit more help, or you're bumping into some consistency issues, the group coaching is where we trade together every week. So that's what I'm showing my guys. This is what we were going over on the Forex side. Yeah, Chris. I mean, crypto looks like it's kind of like it's trying to turn the corner here. yesterday, today, this high or low, this is pretty important. You do need to get above the bands here. I mean, trading's difficult enough, but you want to try to keep it simple. So when we broke 13,000, 12,750, this really set in motion this last leg down to pi. So you can notice that this is why I like to use this wave formation, because it gives a good visual, but we haven't quite turned the corner again yet. The wave formation is still negative. But you get above this high here, then you're going to start to see more people are going to start to come in the market again. You should see the momentum pick up. Then we can start talking about 16,000, 17,000 again. But if we struggle here and then we take out this low, you probably need to retest 8,000, maybe even all the way back to pi again. So that's where the risk is right now. It's right below this low. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to be trying to do some more live streams. I was traveling a lot last week, so it's, we're busy trying to build this trading platform and start this digital asset management firm. So I'm going to try to get to you guys live when I can. Tomorrow I'll do a session. I have all those times posted here on the YouTube. And then Fridays, I'd like to do some webinars. You can get into some more specific training. But guys, just try to follow us here on YouTube. Obviously, if you subscribe, you like the videos, that helps us with all our rankings and stuff like that. You get the notifications, then you'll know when we're live. My Twitter handle is at the Jason Jenkins. I'm not going to type my name. The Jason Jenkins. We'll start tweeting out a lot more thoughts and analysis and charts. We're going to be sending out a newsletter here. We almost have done. And we've got this proprietary coin ranking system we're really working on, because there's just nothing in the market right now that kind of looks at the different metrics and some of the fundamental stuff. So as a team, we've been kind of working on that. Anyway, guys, my traders, good trading today. Another nice successful morning. Send me your guys' charts. And then so I can tweet that stuff out, show people the consistency and, the results we kind of get day in, day out, just doing our thing. A date to make up for Tuesday? Well, Gary, I'm just gonna just keep it rolling every Tuesday, Thursday. I mean, I just meant that for those that weren't on the full access or not on the prop program, I'm just gonna give them another day out, keeping track of those people that have the 8 weeks. Oh. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your trading day. I would stay with Euro versus the pound on these next couple cycles. I think if the Euro and the pound stays choppy, that's probably the best pair to get a little bit more aggressive on. All right, I'll talk to you guys Thursday. I'll see some of you in the chat. All right, Michael, you're welcome, buddy. Shoot me a message. Let me know. I haven't heard from you. I want to see how your trading's been going. What do you got going on?